Upgrade Albo. What a world of pain he is in. He may have gone into media hiding today. Well, I'll give you the tip. This thing is a world of pain, and the story changes by the hour. You know, the heart of this is not just too close a relationship between Anthony Albanese and the former CEO of Qantas, but of course an over-reliance of the relationship and what free stuff, i.e. upgrades, can come the way of the now Prime Minister, but in this case, more importantly, former Transport Minister. Now, remember, we told you last night
he wanted more.
Free stuff.
More and sooner. He said,
I never back away from a flight, especially if it's free.
this is standard procedures.
The issue is not whether he picked up the phone and spoke to Joyce directly, or texted him, or sent smoke signals, or sent carrier pigeons, whether he spoke to the cleaner or he got his cleaner to talk to Joyce's cleaner. The point is,
it's cheating.
The Ministerial Code of Conduct couldn't be clearer, which is that you cannot ask for
sexual favours,
gifts, and tens of thousands of dollars worth of upgrades would well and truly be that. Well, tonight, major news at skynews.com.au as the Prime Minister
seeking to get sexual gratification.
I love it, Albo.
Remember, it's about him asking for the upgrades. But the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese's office, has released a cryptic message to the media denying that he called. Now, remember yesterday in his press conference, he sort of was, well, maybe, but that he never called the Qantas CEO. He danced around all of this yesterday in a series of press conferences, and a spokesperson for the Prime Minister has now publicly denied the question outright about whether or not Mr Albanese had called the former airline's boss. However, I'm reading from skynews.com.au here, the cryptic message failed to confirm whether Albanese had used other forms of communication to solicit free upgrades from Mr Joyce, or whether his office had made representations to the then Qantas CEO. The statement we got: the Prime Minister did not ever call Alan Joyce seeking an upgrade. You see, the Prime Minister's office think, therefore, he's off the hook because he did not directly contact the CEO. Well, we'll wait and see. The claims of the book, which presumably have gone through all of the lawyers, suggest that there was direct contact. All travel has been appropriately declared and a matter of the public record. Now, there's a problem here, because the Prime Minister wants the story to be about
A comedy festival of a pantomime.
Without dishonouring my mum.
call mummy. Who contacted who? No. I repeat, it is about him contacting Qantas at all at a time when he was the Transport Minister. It also comes on top of 5 different examples of him putting his hand out for the upgrade, that being 2009 from Sydney to Los Angeles, return. In April of 2010, from Sydney to Rome, return. A trip apparently to Europe in 2011, from Honolulu in the United States to Sydney in December 2012, and a trip to Dubai in March of 2013. Again, while they want it to be about who called who, it ain't about that. Did he ask in any way, shape or form for
Naked photographs.
Did he ask Joyce directly? Did he ask the cleaner? Did he send a smoke signal? If he asked for it, then he's in breach of at least one of those 2 sections of the Ministerial Code of Conduct that we showed you last night. The simple question for the Prime Minister that he will have to answer next week in Parliament is,
why should someone be gay?
do you believe that ministers should abide by the Ministerial Code of Conduct, yes or no? Would you sack a minister should they breach the Ministerial Code of Conduct, yes or no? Would accepting gifts from the biggest company in the area that you have responsibility for be a breach of the Ministerial Code of Conduct, yes or no? Would you seeking gifts from the biggest company in the ministerial area that you had responsibility be a breach of the Ministerial Code of Conduct, yes or no? Again, whack that Ministerial Code of Conduct up, because people talk about it. I want you to know the words. Section 3.18. Ministers in their official capacity may therefore accept customary official gifts, hospitalities, token of appreciation, but must not seek or encourage any form of gift in their personal capacity. Well, we've got 5 examples of them that are in the book, a couple more by the reporting of Andrew Clennell and others here at Sky News. Then there's the second bit, which is section 3.21 of the Ministerial Code of Conduct. The same words, same meaning. when he was working as a minister for Rudd and as a minister for Gillard. Ministers must not seek or accept any kind of benefit or valuable consideration either for themselves or others in connection with performing or not performing any element of their official duties as a minister. You can't get, let alone ask, gifts from the biggest company in the area of which you supposedly have responsibility. So I mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples of him doing it, him being caught red-handed. He wants to make it about
flirting and officially sexting.
He wants to make it about who contacted who. No. He got them, which puts him in breach of 3.21, but also, I would suggest...
You wouldn't want your partner to see that you were sending naked photographs. Then that means that you know that what you're doing is wrong, so don't do it. And there's obviously something wrong in your relationship. If you're seeking to get gratification elsewhere, sexual gratification from other people, then there's something wrong in your relationship, and that time should be invested in fixing it rather than trying to flirt elsewhere.
But this is certainly going to be a bittersweet moment for me.
We can reveal that the Prime Minister on one flight in January the 20th, 1999, received an upgrade on a flight from Christchurch to Sydney. That is the first one. That was from economy to business class. Also received an upgrade from economy to business return from Sydney to Hong Kong in April of 1999. You can see that one on your screen. That's a Qantas flight as well. In February of 2000, Mr Albanese and his then wife Carmel Tebbit received upgrades from economy to business for 2 Qantas flights for what is cited in the declaration as a family holiday to Thailand.
As a Prime Minister, I earn...
Happy ending.
That's my style. I hope you've noticed that.
Mr Albanese declares a number of flights, 3 of them in total for himself and Miss Tebbit. These are one upgrade from economy to business flying on Qantas from Sydney to Singapore, an upgrade from economy to first class on a British Airways flight from Singapore to London, should be the next one, and then an upgrade from economy to business class as well, flying on a Qantas flight from London to Sydney.
These are all grand announcements. I want to see the rubber hit the road. In terms of the only discussions that I can recall with Alan Joyce, certainly we discussed
the pros and cons of dating in the nude.
But he has otherwise accounted for himself properly.
And that's just part of the job.
Apart from showing he's got a sweet tooth for this stuff, the stuff in opposition doesn't matter, right? It's all about whether he's a minister, hence the main 5 allegations which come out of the book. Prime Minister tries to distract with who asked who. Reality is, if it was asked for at all, in any way, shape or form, to anyone in the organisation, on his behalf or directly, bang, he's on the wrong side of this. He would have to sack his own Transport Minister for doing it, and presumably he can't go back to the time machine when it comes to the former Prime Ministers, but he's going to be on the wrong side of this thing. Again, Albo lets himself off the hook, but people need to understand the double standard. They need to understand that if his own Transport Minister did this, he would be compelled to sack them. But when he did it, he's going to say there's nothing to see here.
I see nothing.
95%. Say the Prime Minister calling the boss of Qantas for an upgrade does it pass the pub test. Again, don't get caught on this whole call, not call business. Did he ask Qantas, not whom at Qantas?